Hi, welcome to Foreigner in the Philippines. Good evening. I'm just looking through, as I usually do. Believe it or not, I do actually read all of the comments. Beth sometimes goes to the back end and reads them from the back towards the front, and we meet halfway. But mainly if there are any questions, I usually do try my very best to answer them. Well, one of the, shall we say, disadvantages or one of the side effects of the fact that our videos remain constant. We have over probably something like 5,500 videos up now, and they are being constantly in various different places. They're being looked at. And then, of course, when people look at them, if for the first time, they then make a comment as if no other comments have been made. One of the things that people suggest on one particular... Just a minute, I'm going to let a cat out. Go on. That's Golden. I think she's on the lookout for another boyfriend. That's what Beth always says. Well, so, ever constant videos which are being carried, suspended in the present. So every time that you watch a video, you are watching it as if it's just been made, which of course it's not, in most cases, okay? So how does this affect the video and its impact? Well, it means obviously that people will comment as if in the present. So you keep getting responses which add up, and they add on and add on and add on, and in the end it's almost like a kind of a survey, because people keep giving their solution, they keep giving their opinion, they keep giving their suggestions. All of these things are vital to a good channel. The only thing, as you know, or should know by now, and that is that we maintain that we run a feel-good channel. So when we get the bad language or catcalling, or however you want to say it, derogatory speech, we just delete it and we get rid of that particular person. Very, very unlikely that anybody that comes on and badmouths anybody else, including bad-mouthing me or Beth, they're not likely to be subscribers anyway, so it's not as if we lose anything. But why am I inspired to talk about this? It is because I keep reading the comments coming up about the woman that had a one-night stand with what she called the love of her life, who was now an ex. And it was a very complicated situation, because not only was he an ex, but he had a girlfriend of his own who he was engaged to. Now, the plot thickened then, because she was since married. And she was married to a foreigner who apparently... I gotta stop and do something about those dogs. Okay, they stopped. They can be quite stupid, but then no, I shouldn't say that, because they're actually doing their job. When one of them sees something which disturbs her in some way, starts barking, and the others join in. Why? Well, because they can, okay? The idea being that if you have 6 or 7 dogs like we have, then it's very difficult for an intruder to silence all of them. So you would be warned in some way about what was happening. So what on earth was at what point in my talk was I actually talking about? And I'm sure that it was that it got complicated because the woman in question was asking for advice because she had a one-night stand because this ex-boyfriend of hers, who she called the love of her life, had called her and said, why don't we meet so that we can have closure? And I guess she thought that the idea of closure was something which would be uncomplicated. I couldn't have been less so. So she went, and they kept going on the closure until they were in bed. And as a result of that fleeting moment, apparently she is pregnant. Well, I don't know what the timelines are for the last time that she was with her husband, and whether there was this gap between her husband and the boyfriend. It seems unlikely to me, but that was her fear. In fact, she seemed to be thinking that it was the boyfriend's. One of the things that people came up with constantly, over and over, is DNA. Now, I'm sure that that would be an excellent thing, but first of all, I understand that it's a rather costly procedure. So figures that I've been given, which I have no way of confirming or denying, I heard something like $1,000. $1,000 is an appreciable amount of money. So that would be something that I imagine this lady would be loath to suggest. Now let's just assume that she did suggest it and they went ahead. Now it gets even more complicated, doesn't it? Because does she tell the boyfriend? Has she told the boyfriend? Has he told his fiancée that he had a little enjoyable closure quality time with his ex, who perhaps he thinks that she is the love of his life, which kind of begs the question, why are they not together? But anyway, they're not. She has taken the, not exactly, certainly not the high road, and certainly not probably the low road. Let's say that there's a medium road that she can take. A lot of people thought that she had a lot of siblings. She doesn't. Well, I'm sorry, she has a lot of siblings, but a lot of people thought that she already had a lot of children, and that wasn't true. They were siblings. So brothers and sisters is what she had, and apparently this foreigner is being very generous, and he is helping to support and benefit this new family that he is now involved in. So my question was, if it was that a DNA test was to be taken, I'm imagining surely that all parties would be told. Now, if you look at it, let's look at the scene. We're talking about the aftermath of what for those three people could be like World War III, and there'd be a lot of dismembered bodies and hearts hanging around there, and it would be a very difficult situation. How would anybody stay sane while that was happening? So look at the husband. The husband has committed to a lady that he has now found out not only has she betrayed him, but she has also incurred a pregnancy. And there is some doubt as to who the baby belongs to. Imagine that. As far as the boyfriend goes, or the ex-boyfriend, he is now on the verge, on the cusp, whatever you would like to term it, of fatherhood. Or is he? We really don't know, do we? So it would be interesting if we could hear from that lady without judgment. There was a lot of very harsh judgment, obviously, because, well, let's not dress it up. She betrayed her husband, and the boyfriend, well, he betrayed his girlfriend, didn't he? So, not such a good scene all round. So, if she is watching this, try and tough it out and get back to us and tell us what happened. DNA test? Did everybody stay the same? The sane approach? Did they all wait? Did they get the result? What was the result? I'm sure that lots of people are absolutely fascinated to know what really happened. That's on one of the comments. Thanks for looking in. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Bye.